if I want to grab a knife and mug you right now, I could do it if I was completely individualistic.
Everybody has a certain ratio of collectivism and individualism in themselves. But I feel is that if in a place there are more of those people who have more of the individualistic quotient in them, that society in itself becomes more individualistic.
Empathy is a very collectivist thing. You
Hmm.
cannot have an individualistic person who is very empathetic.
So you will choose a society or a collective where you
Yes.
feel your individualistic mindset is more aligned.
Yeah.
You have to curb less of your freedom. So in that way, you can say that every collectivist person is individualistic also, till a certain limit.
Again, this goes down to the social contract theory. There is a social contract that I will provide this in return for this. So when I pay a tax, I expect a good road. I expect good government infrastructure. When I do not pay a tax, I expect myself to go into jail or face some sort of consequence.
Cool. So welcome back to yet another episode of the Deep Philosophy Group, and today we are back again with the same guest of ours. We have already shot one more episode, so if you have not seen that, you can have the link of that over here. Okay, I button. So you can have a look at that. And till then, we can again introduce our guest. So his name is
Doston whiskey.
Dosto Whiskey. That's a very nice name. About me, I guess you already know about me. My name is Frederick Nietzsche, and we have already shot many more such videos on our channel. You can have a look at that. If you're new to our channel, let me just help you understand what exactly this entire podcast is going to be about. We have cards, like a lot of cards, and these cards have some prompts written on it. These prompts are open-ended philosophical things. They do not have any right or wrong answer, but they will make you think. So I'll just make him choose one of the cards. He'll choose a card, and then we'll have a prompt in front of us, and then we'll discuss about it in for next 15 or 20 minutes. We'll give our opinions, and what you have to do is that you have to give your opinions on the prompt. You have to give opinions on our opinions, and you can just do that in the comment section. We would love to hear your views, and if you like the conversation, you can hit the like button. So I guess you understand your job, we understand our job. Since we all understand our job, let's do the job. Cool. So now he will choose some topic from this cards. Okay. Cool. So the topic is, can individualism exist in harmony with collectivism?
Okay. I think yes, it can, but it is a very utopian sort of
Let's just get
dream.
let's just get one step back.
Uh,
So
let's.
the thing is, let's just try to define the words so that we can say that we are on the same page when we are defining any of the
Sure.
words. So when we say individualism, individualism is basically when we say that you believe in the right of having your own identity, and you are okay in maybe surviving on your own, not being completely dependent on somebody else, and agreeing with the fact that nobody else is also depending on you. You are kind of living a very independent life alone. That is where I guess I would say individualism is.
I would slightly differ in the sense that it is not about living independently. It is about me having my rights independent of your rights. In the sense that we both share some rights, like the freedom of speech. It is not contingent on your freedom of speech, but that does not mean that you do not have that freedom of speech. Every individual has the freedom to express themselves, they have the freedom to live how they want to live and live where, when, how, whatever. Matlab, whenever, whatever decisions pertain to an individual's life, an individual can take for themselves. So it does not necessarily mean that you have to be able to live independently. I might choose to live with somebody, I might choose to live as a financially dependent person, as a whatever, physically uh, restricted or whatever. The words are not they are not really conducive to what I'm trying to say.
Words are not wording.
Yes. So but what I mean is that as an individual I get to choose how I want to be. That is what I would say individualism is.
Okay, fair. Cool. Exist in harmony. Harmony is,
I think we need to define collectivism pehle.
no, we'll go word by word. No,
Okay,
so
okay, okay.
harmony comes
Uh-huh.
first. So harmony is coexisting happily.
Not cutting each other.
Okay, that was easy to define. Come back to collectivism.
Collectivism.
I guess opposite of individualism.
Not really opposite, and that is why I say they can live in harmony.
Ah,
So collectivism
we are
would be
same but different.
kind of. Uh, So collectivism would be that a group of people deciding to choose how they live, and basically how I defined individualism, but at a collectivist or a bigger scale, where multiple people choose to live together, make similar decisions about how they want to live, or like at least corresponding decisions. So if one person, let's say the two of us are living together, so one of us might decide to cook the food, one of us might decide to wash the dishes.
Okay.
This is collectivist in the sense that we both are making decisions so that our collective moves forward and not just one of us. If both of us had to cook our own food and then do our own dishes, that would have taken us a longer time. But as collectivist people, we can sort of delegate the cooking to you and the dishes to me for a better uh, sort of working of the relationship.
Okay. Yeah, I have a doubt on this.
Mhm.
Do you think that in collectivism, everybody is an indispensable part of that group? When we say indispensable, it means that when I take this person from this group, this person also loses its meaning, and this group as a whole also loses its meaning. So they are, when they are together, they are making sense. When they are not together, both of them are not making sense.
So, in an ideal collectivist society, that would be the case. That should be the case, at least for the individual that has been taken out of the group.
Okay.
The person taken out of the group should lose
In an ideal collectivist.
In an ideal collectivist society,
Okay.
A person who has been taken out of the collectivist group
Mm.
should lose all sense of identity, not in the sense that they should, in the sense that theoretically they should. And the group should, however, adapt to the situation, and somebody else takes the place of whatever void is there because of the person of the individual leaving. On the other hand, in an individual society, in a completely individualistic society, there will be no change whatsoever to the group. Whereas for the individual, it might just be a new phase where they would not have other people to interact with. But ideally, there should not be any change in their life as well.
Okay, let's just take the example of cooking the food.
Hmm.
Let's just say that this is a task that you have to do as an individualistic society, also as a collectivist society. In the collectivist society, what maybe people would do is that we have to make food for 10 people. We are 10 people. What we can do is that one person can clean the vegetables, one person can chop the vegetables, one person can cook it, one person can make the rice, one person can do the dishes, one person can serve it, one person can wash the dishes, all of these things. This is how a collectivist society would work. If I just take an example. Now in this one, 10 people are working to make food for 10 people, and one person is not doing the full thing. They are doing but they are doing one very major part. If I take one person from this entire process, maybe the food will not be cooked.
No, the food will still be cooked. You won't have rice.
Or maybe the work will equally be divided in the remaining people. Okay, this is how the collectivist society would work. But in the individualistic society, 10 people will make their own food completely from the scratch. This might take more resources, this might take more time. And also it is possible that those 10 people will eat together or separately. It is not true that they will sit together. This is how individualistic and collectivist society might function ideally. Now when we say that individualism and collectivism is working in harmony or not, let's just take the same example. There are 10 people. There is, so all the tasks have been divided equally. But there's one person who says, you know what, I'll make one dish completely on my own, and it will be only me who will eat that entire food. I'll not share it.
Hmm.
Or maybe I can share it, but I'll take the equal amount of food from you.
Hmm.
So I do not want to really hamper with your work. You do not hamper with my work. I'll live happily. You also live happily. This is
Hmm.
what the example of individualistic living in harmony with collectivism. Do you really think that now, if in this collectivism group people are vegetarian entirely,
Hmm.
and this individualistic person says, you know what, I want to make a non-veg food,
Hmm.
but the kitchen is only one.
Okay, so that is where the harmony part comes in. So if you are that as an individualistic person, you have done a very splendid job of making non-veg food in a vegetarian place. But as a collectivist person,
Hmm.
you have done a very horrible job of flouting social norms,
Okay.
and that is where you are breaking the harmony by creating that non-veg food.
Me as an individual.
Yes. So there you are trying to come. Your individualism is at a loggerheads with your collectivism, and
Hmm.
you have let the individualism win.
Hmm.
So your collectivism will of course take a uh, back seat, and it will cost you some credit points or social credit within your collectivist group.
Hmm.
In a society where harmony should be at priority, people would not really mind this. People should not really mind this.
Hmm.
Yeah, ठीक है. They chose
Hmm.
non-veg food for themselves. They made it, and good for them.
Hmm.
But now, in a completely individualistic society, everybody would have sort of said something along the lines of, okay, so they are making non-veg food, I'll make something that he does not eat. Or this is a very pessimistic view of individualism. There might be people who will be like, okay, so I'll cook something that I want to eat, not something that he does not want to eat.
Hmm.
And that is where the individualism society would go. For the collectivist society, what people will start to think is that he is trying to cost us our collective.
Hmm.
The sanctity of the kitchen, in the example, the sanctity of the kitchen has been ruined by this one person.
Hmm.
So they need to be ostracized from the group.
Okay.
That is what the collective would eventually come to, because that is the person is directly attacking the collective's resources
Hmm.
without providing anything in return. In the sense that they are providing non-veg food, but that
Hmm.
is not something that the collective really values.
Hmm.
And even though I personally do not find merit in the non-veg and veg food example, but since we are working with that, it sort of highlights when individualism and collectivism have to be decided upon. Where do you want to have
Draw the
your
line.
priorities lie?
Exactly.
So if you want to be a more individualistic person,
Hmm.
that is good for you,
Hmm.
but then you should be cognizant of the fact of what consequences you will be facing from the collective. And if you are choosing to be a more collective person,
Hmm.
then you should be cognizant of the fact that you are letting go of some things that you had as an individual. So in that case, if the person decides against making non-veg,
Hmm.
that would be choosing the collective over the individual. And in this scenario, what they are gaining is the trust of the collective, the respect of the collective, while they are foregoing the pleasure of the individual.
So, according to your explanation,
Hmm.
basically, both collectivistic society and individualistic society folks
Hmm.
have to curb their freedom a little in
Hmm.
order to have good time together, which is where the harmony
Hmm.
word is a very, very important factor in this entire
Hmm.
conversation. That when we say harmony, harmony is all about having the tolerance, a good amount of tolerance
Hmm.
in both the people, be it the
Hmm.
collectivist group or the individualistic
Hmm.
group people.
I'm not even looking at it like two different people.
Hmm.
I'm looking at it like one person with two schools of thoughts in their own mind.
Okay.
So even though it is like we do this on a regular basis anyway,
Hmm.
we have a very humanistic point of view while having a very nationalistic point of view, while also having a very individualistic point of view. On a very individual point of view, I would say ki I want this job because I want to have this for my career. I want to have this and this and this. This is the sort of house that I want to live in. This is the sort of car I want to drive. This is the sort of food that I want to eat. These are the things that I want to indulge in. These are the things that I do not want to indulge in. These are the individualistic choices that I make for myself. Then there are some nationalistic or collectivistic choices on the national scale that I make. That I will support Team India. I will support. I will grab a passport from the Indian National Embassy. I will support India in whatever they do. I will stand up for the national anthem. I will respect the Indian national flag. And these are nationalistic things which I do for the collective, that is the nation. There are collectives that are the state, there are collectives that are my locality, and on each level I am doing something else. I am doing something to sort of appease the collective. And this is something that you will have to do in order to live in a society. This is the basic social contract that
But
you have to
all
sign.
of these things that you are doing, is it because you want to appease the collectivist group, or you are doing it by your heart?
I think there is no difference. There might be a line where there must be a difference, but I think that line is so out there that when it comes to the situation, you'll know. If you are at a loggerheads where if your individualistic choices and your collectivistic choices do not match, let's say I want to uh, not buy Russian oil for some reason, whereas the nation wants to buy Russian oil because they are an ally. That is a choice that I can make for myself. I do not have to purchase exclusively Russian oil. I can try to figure out what other oil agencies I have, what other oil sources I have, and I can purchase from them. It might cost me a premium, but that is a choice that I can make without costing me my collectivist or my individualistic uh, sort of ideology. There are things where it might cost me my collective and my individualistic. So let's say I want to support a Pakistani artist. I want to support a Pakistani singer. Let's say somebody like an Atif Aslam. I respect the craft that man has put into. And but when I support Atif Aslam in the day and age, given the current requirements of the collective, that is the nation, I cannot do that as an individual. I will have to choose between the nation and the individual. And now that decision might get me some flack from the nation if I choose to go to individualistic policy, uh, and it might get me some dissatisfaction, which is the equivalent of the flack that I'm getting from the national if I go to the collectivist decision that I do not want to support Atif Aslam. So the line is, the bottom line is that I will have a choice no matter what. I will have to live with the consequence, and the consequence might or might not hamper the harmony that the collective has with the individual. And this is where the appeasement part comes in. When I say appeasement, I'm not saying to live a performative life to sort of make the collective happy with yourself. It is just the bare minimum that you need to do in order to be a part of the group. To be part of the nation, you need to respect the national flag. You need to respect the national anthem, the national symbols, which include the national song, the national land, the national emblem, and you need to recognize with the identity. As long as I'm doing these 3-4 things, I'm part of the collective.
But you're also having your individualistic thoughts.
And I'm also having my individualistic thoughts.
So technically, when you, as a, maybe the onus is upon the individualistic person to curb his or her freedom in a way that they sit just right with the collectivist society, because they know that at the end of the day I am going to have some benefits also of aligning with them in the long run. So in that way you can say that every collectivist person is individualistic also, till a certain limit. Because by this logic, individualistic person is also collectivist, and maybe at some point collectivist person is also individualistic.
Fair. Again, this goes down to the social contract theory. There is a social contract that I will provide this in return for this. So when I pay a tax, I expect a good road. I expect good government infrastructure. When I do not pay a tax, I expect myself to go into jail or face some sort of consequence.
Or maybe another thing can be that you just completely decide to leave that country where you have
Mhm.
certain what do you say, punishments for doing certain things. So you will
Mm.
choose a society or a collective where you
Yes.
feel your individualistic mindset is more aligned.
Yeah.
You have to curb less of your freedom.
Hmm. So I feel at the end of the day, individualism and collectivism can,
Go in harmony.
should go in harmony. So if it is not a question of whether they can or cannot, because we have seen it happens, it is happening right now.
Hmm.
You are making individualistic choices while living in a collective.
Hmm.
So individualism and collectivism are in harmony with each other.
Hmm.
You might not like the state where the equilibrium is.
Hmm.
You might want to shift it to a more individualistic place or a more collectivistic space.
Hmm.
But that is a different discussion.
Hmm.
Where should the harmony or what should the harmony look like is a different discussion. But it can stay in harmony. And why should it be in harmony? Because having a complete collective
Hmm.
or an absolute collective where everybody thinks the same will get into a situation where it sort of becomes a cult.
Fair, fair.
Everybody thinking the same thing, everybody doing the same thing. It is very easily agitated. There, it is very unstable, and it, in my
It's
knowledge,
it's
at
very
least, it
volatile
has never brought any benefit to
society.
society, even to the collective itself. And pure individualism will not work because if everybody starts to work with themselves
Hmm.
and themselves exclusively, there will be no demarcation of what I can do and what I cannot do. It
Hmm.
will be completely on my whim. If I want to grab a knife and mug you right now, I could do it if I was completely individualistic.
Hmm.
The idea that I will have to face consequences, that what I will be doing to you is
Hmm.
wrong, does not come from individualism. It comes from collectivism. That
Hmm.
you also have a space, where that you also have a peace, you also have some things that you want to keep with yourself, and mugging you will be wrong because if it happened to me, it would have been wrong as well.
Hmm. Fair point. That is where I guess empathy thing also comes into the play.
Yes, empathy is a very collectivist thing. You
Hmm.
cannot have an individualistic person who is very empathetic.
You can have.
How?
You said that you cannot have an individualistic person who is not having empathy,
Individualistic person who has empathy.
who has empathy.
Purely individualistic person who has empathy.
There can be, it can be a possibility that okay, I am a kind of person who only and only cares about himself.
Mhm.
But obviously, I will not go out and kick somebody randomly because I know because how it will feel that so if somebody kicks me, how would I feel? So I will not kick that person. I have empathy, but I am also an individualistic person.
Again, you're not feeling for the person.
I'm not feeling
You're
for.
not feeling bad. You're feeling bad for yourself. That I will feel bad if somebody kicked me.
Fair
That
point.
is not empathy. That is proxy empathy. It works. It looks, feels like empathy, but it is not empathy. You're not feeling for the other person. You're feeling for yourself if that happened to you.
Fair
My
point.
rationale that I gave just before this was also proxy empathy working in an individualistic society. For
Fair
a
point.
collective society, it would be, yes, sir, that person will feel bad. I will face consequences.
Hmm.
I'll go to jail. I'll have to face trial and all that. Those are collectivistic paths of thinking. For individualistic paths of thinking, I would not feel very well if that happened to me,
Fair point. Fair
and
point.
that is why I won't do it to you.
Fair point. Cool. So we will come down to concluding our thoughts. So if I have to conclude, can individualism exist in harmony with collectivism? It can. It should, as he just said, and it is happening anyway. It is happening right
Hmm.
now.
Yes.
So all the people who are living in a society, in a country, in a state, in a family,
Hmm.
they
Yes.
all of them are seeing this thing. How would you conclude? Same way.
I agreeing. You might not like where the balance is right now, where the balance was a few years ago, where the balance
Hmm.
will be a few years hence, but there is a balance, there is an equilibrium.
You
You
know what?
might.
One more thing that I just want to add is that
Hmm.
everybody has a certain ratio of collectivism and individualism in themselves.
Hmm.
But I feel is that if in a place there are more of those people who have more of the individualistic quotient in them, that
Hmm.
society in itself becomes more individualistic. For example, the
Hmm.
people who are living in cities, maybe
Hmm.
by heart they are more individualistic. That is why maybe they chose to leave their home and come to this place and
Hmm.
survive here and be happy. So the cities as a whole become more individualistic, and the people who choose to remain in small towns or in villages, they are maybe more collectivist because they chose to stay in a place where more people are collectivist. So that
Hmm.
society in a whole also becomes more collectivist.
Hmm. Fair. No, I agree with the sentiment. I might not agree with the example, but in the
I
sense that I do not think cities are exclusively
Yeah,
individualistic. Na?
obviously not. Largely, largely,
Largely
largely.
okay.
Like even if you take the example of the USA,
Hmm.
most of the people who left Europe to
Hmm.
come to US were the people who believed in the concept of more individualism, believed in the
Hmm.
more concept of more
The
freedom.
American dream inherently is very individualistic.
Exactly, exactly. So maybe that is why more people who had that kind of thought came in
Hmm.
to make a society, and that is how
Hmm.
that society became as a whole more
Hmm.
individualistic. Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe.
Hmm.
Cool. So that is how we would end this episode. It was a really great conversation. I enjoyed it. I hope
I enjoyed it as well.
Dosto
I
Whiskey.
hope they enjoyed it.
I hope they are still here.
They're
but
not individualizing behind the screens.
but yeah, if you really made it
Hmm.
till here in the video, I would say that you are the kind of person who would like other conversations also, which are there in
Hmm.
our channel. So do have a look at those conversations also. Um, Other than that, whatever you feel about this conversation, let us know about that in the comment section. If you have any of the opinions on this topic, let us know. If you have any of the opinions on our opinions, let us know in the comment section.
Hmm.
Like the video and also share it with the people who you feel have the similar,
Hmm. Bend of mind.
exactly the same thing. So just share it with them and subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon, and not like that, not like that, but also you can also check out some shorts on
Hmm.
our channel. We have also started with a Instagram channel, so you can Instagram page, you can also follow that. I'll put the
Hmm.
link that in the description. That is all. Wow,
We have a bird on
we have a
the
bird on the,
tripod.
yeah, I don't think you can see, but we can see.
Yeah.
Nice, cool. That is all. Till then, we'll see you in the next video, and I hope that you have a nice day ahead.